If you want a big deadlift, don't do a tap and go deadlift.
Just reset every
Reset every. I went for a record on a squat, and I squatted 250, and the record at the time was 260. And then I went for 262. I took it off the Monolift at comp, and I just knew it was just too heavy.
Yeah.
But
did you have a go?
Yeah, it went over the top of my head and pinged me back into the guy behind me.
Give me one assistance exercise for the squat, one for the deadlift, and one for the bench that you would say are the top ones to do other than those big three.
Bench press, I'll give you two because I've always done two.
Yeah.
Close grip bench, got my triceps really strong.
With a bar, yeah. Hi, welcome to the podcast. Today I'm here with Ash Armstrong. He is a British record holding powerlifter, probably the strongest pound for pound guy that I've met. He has records in the bench press, is that right?
Yep.
In the squat.
So I've equaled the squat. So I don't have that, but I equaled that.
Yeah, and what's that? What did you squat?
260.
260 kilos.
And then I've got the deadlift in the
572 pounds.
Yeah.
And then the deadlift, what's your max deadlift?
Comp is 307.5 kilo.
That's 677 pounds.
Yeah.
And what's your max bench?
At comp, 177 kilo.
That's 390 pounds.
Yeah.
So to put that into perspective, we're the same weight, and my maxes are like 192.5 deadlift. I cannot believe that you managed to do an extra like 110 kilos on top of that. That is unbelievable. I've seen a video, so obviously I do believe it. And then bench wise, I'm a bit closer. I'm like 140 on the bench.
Anything over 120, to be honest with you.
To add another 40 kilos on top of that, though, is like unbelievable. And then my squat's probably my weakest. I'm like probably like 160. So again, you've got another 100 kilos on top of that. But we're like exactly the same weight.
Yeah.
So I just find it incredible because I'm experienced in training. I don't powerlift, but I obviously weight trained most of my life. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk to you because those numbers are incredible. What instigated you retiring?
You know what? It's probably two things. I think lockdown. I know everyone keeps saying that lockdown changed everything, but just before lockdown, I hit all my gym PBs. We were going for a comp, things like that. Then went straight into lockdown. So like when all the comps were like cancelled, and it just wasn't in my realm. But then all the records that I've got were all junior records. So that's up to 23 years old.
Yeah.
So that summer, so that was doing a comp just before I was going to turn 24. So it was like perfect timing. I was going to do a comp and that'd be it. But after that, I was going into seniors. Not that they are ridiculously good, but there's always one person who's like really, really high. He's got a ridiculous squat. Yeah. So it was a total record to become the best.
Yeah.
That I know personally I wouldn't have been able to get there. And the amount of effort and my whole work changed, the whole lifestyle changed, just to try and get to that. It just wasn't.
Yeah, to be the best at everything, it has to be your singular focus.
Yeah.
You sponsored at the time?
At the time, I had quite a few things going on as well. So like my whole life was like geared towards competing, and and it was so perfect for what I was going to do. I think people forget that. Like, I was a personal trainer doing classes, but then I was working morning, evening. I had a big gap in the daytime where I could train. Yeah. I had a food sponsor called Eat 18. I ended up paying for food at the start. Then a lot of my clients ended up jumping on it. Then they fed me for free, basically.
All right, amazing.
Like 3 meals a day, 5 days a week, and it was amazing. So my nutrition was bang on.
I do find that you can find time for training. So I think I can train as much as my body can take. Yeah. But I think the difference between singularly focusing on something and trying to like work and have a family is almost the recovery side of it.
Yeah.
And things
my
like
nervous
nutrition.
system was absolutely shot. I was doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was super heavy. Thursday, Friday was still heavy, but accessory day.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday I had off just because I was so tired. Yeah. But then everything, I was living with a guy who was the best 100 kilo lifter in the country. So me and him were living together. It was literally, I was looking back at my videos all the time.
Do you think that had a big part in your success?
Yeah, definitely. He's the person who got me into powerlifting. So we were both basically just talking about lifting all the time. It sounds really sad, doesn't it? But this is exactly the way it was. I was getting fed. I had a chiropractor who sponsored me. So if I had any niggles, and he worked on site where I was working, Edge Wellness, Nabil. So whenever I had an issue with my elbows, because my elbows are killing all the time, or my knees, I had a knee injury we'll speak about, that he just was perfect for me. So any niggles I had was sorted out. My
so you
nutrition
had that
was
team
good.
around you. Yeah.
Supplement wise, Pavel at the vitamin shop, if I ever needed anything, like I used to work there as well, so that gave me a good background of what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, things like that. So I think as a package of helping somebody to become good at something, it was there.
So you have to build a team. Do you think
Personally, definitely.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Build the team around you, and they always like credit other people for
100%.
partly for their success.
Yeah, 100%. And when you've got a good team around you, and that's how you're training, like I won't go and just squat on my own, put wraps on and squat 260 in training. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got somebody there, like the guy I was training with, Luke, who'd wrap my knees and I'd wrap his knees.
Is that the guy you lived with?
Yeah.
So did you train with him? Do you have a training
every day.
partner?
Yeah, every day.
That's something I miss from my earlier years of training. I haven't trained consistently with someone probably for the last 5 years, but for the first like 5 years of lifting, every session was with someone. And not that you compete in like too much, but just having someone do a couple extra reps, or almost just seeing someone do something, and then 100%. It switches your belief. Something in my central nervous system, I felt like I'd tried 100% before, but then once I've seen someone do it, I don't know, I'm seem to be just recruiting more fibers, because I was genuinely trying before, but then if I see one of my friends that I don't perceive necessarily to be stronger than me, I'll just do it.
Like, what? But I think people who you train with has a massive effect on everything you do. Before I was even a powerlifter, I think it comes from I was a sprinter for Chester Uni, so like I'm quite fast twitch fibers anyway before I even did anything. And then the guy I trained with at uni when I first started training really was Jordan Blythe, Jamaican, super strong. He was always about 10 kilo heavier than me, but always lifts were like just above me all the time. So I was just trying to keep up with him. It was no like I need to get strong. It was just like, no, I want to try and keep up with you. And he was super strong. So that probably gave me to being relatively strong as I was growing anyway at uni, just because I was trying to keep up with my training partner every day.
So 3 things really like that contributed to your success was having like a training partner or someone that was just ahead of you to keep like edging you on, like building a team. So I guess you got nutrition support,
100%.
cooking, and then what was the other one?
The healthcare. So it's like chiropractor, sports massage, things like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be that. It can be just the people that surround themselves when you're training. Like I wasn't training on my own, going to somewhere that's really quiet. Like Modified is geared towards the powerlifting side. You've got all the Monolift, you've got deadlift platforms, and you've got people in there that can
explain to people what a Monolift is.
So a Monolift is when you're squatting, you don't have to walk the bar out. So when you've got something heavy on your back with wraps, especially when you've got wraps are tight. If you've never had a knee wrap done, it's not
so you can't really like walk in and out like you would a regular
You can, but it's
squat.
really difficult.
Yeah.
And
is it the one with the hooks, or is it straps on the Monolift that are holding the bar?
So it's hooks, but then somebody's got a lever. So when you bring the bar up as if you were about to squat it off a rack, they move. Somebody moves
automated, or do people move them?
They've got a weight, so if you were on your own, you could do it and you could walk it back on the hooks, but it'd be better if somebody's there and someone behind you. So like in that respect, somebody's moving it, you've got somebody spotting you. Like you need quite a few people when you're squatting heavy and stuff like that. I remember in training, when I was at my strongest, I squatted 300 and I had somebody on the Monolift, I had someone behind me, I had somebody either side of the bar just in case.
So like squat's the most scary out of the
100%. And if I did another comp, it'd be a push-pull, which is deadlift and
bench.
Really?
Yeah, you just don't want to do those.
Not really. Like, it doesn't appeal to me at all, putting something heavy on my back now.
They've got the work. You say that, but you still squat like 200, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah.
To me.
Do you know what? I haven't squatted in a long time just because I do a lot of running now and it just affects my lower back more than anything. I haven't got the core strength that I did because I'm not putting the weight through my core as much. I know that. But I'd like to think I could squat 200, 220,
Yeah. It's funny you say lower back. So I did like basic gymnastics, not like professional, more just recreationally, through my whole childhood really. More acrobatics. So I've got compressed discs in my lower back, like black, like on an MRI, there's no fluid in them. And I can actually deadlift fine, like usually no problem. I can front squat absolutely fine, I think because the spinal discs are like stacked more vertically. But if I go heavy on a back squat, no matter how much like core training I've done, I'll find that slight overarch that you have in your back potentially. Even if I'm trying to take it out, I just can't cope with that pressure anymore. I used to be fine, but just having those discs bulging at the bottom, like the deadlift's like almost pulling you the other way. But
100%. You're pulling away from the issue that you've probably got at the lower back, where you're just compressing it otherwise. So for me, it doesn't really appeal to me that much. I went for a record on a squat, and when you do powerlifting, you do 3 squats, 3 bench, 3 deadlift.
Yeah.
And I squatted 250, and the record at the time was 260. And then I went for 262. I took it off the Monolift at comp, and I just knew it was just too heavy.
Yeah.
But
did you have a go?
Yeah, it went over the top of my head and pinged me back into the guy behind me.
Do you
know what I mean?
That's intense.
But like that's the kind of thing.
Have you got a video of that?
Yeah, I've got a video of it. Yeah,
right, maybe we can try and clip it off.
It didn't look great, but the issue was as well. I had to then do 3 max benches, 3 max deadlifts.
So do you start with the squat?
You always start with the squat,
then bench, and then finish on the deadlift. That's probably sensible.
Yeah.
And that's quite a lot, actually. I always think of like powerlifting as like, I guess you have to warm up, but actually if you're going to go for 3 max attempts, and you're really in competition, that's actually brutal on the central nervous system.
And you know what? When I had the chiropractor, Nabil came to a couple, like 2 or 3 competitions, and he was correcting me like through the day. And you know what? The next day I felt so good.
Really?
It didn't affect me because my nervous system was like bang on. But if I didn't have him there and I was doing 3 max lifts, okay, they might not be 3 maximal lifts, but the 3 heavy lifts. I'd say 2 of them, of the 3, are maximal. Like your opener, the first one you do, you want that to look really easy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just get one in the bag.
Yeah, literally that. And then your second one should be just under your PB. Then your third one should be like personal best. If you get this, we're flying.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So they are really heavy, but you've also got all the warm-ups.
Yeah.
But then you've got your adrenaline that's doing this all day.
I've got something about warm-ups. I want to know, so something I'm focusing a little bit on the moment with myself and with some clients is trying to cut out junk volume, if you've ever heard of the term junk volume, I'm sure you have. So junk volume is basically like lifting like above a warm-up weight or below like a working set, but for like more reps than is necessary, and then that affecting your quality of the top set. So it might look something like, let's say your max bench is 100 kilos, so you want to be working around the 80-85 kilo mark, 80-85% if you're looking for like some hypertrophy, and it'd be doing too many warm-up sets around like 65 to 70% of your max for like high reps, up near like 8 to 10 reps. How do you like get rid of junk volume? My challenge is I struggle to get up to those top weights and feel like central nervous system like warmed up, like ready to do them without doing actually a large amount of sets before.
Depending on what exercise it is, like when I was deadlifting, I would just warm my lats up a little bit. I wouldn't really warm my hamstrings up, but because I was working at weights of like 200, 220, 230, by the time I'm up there, I'm warm anyway.
How many reps are you doing up to those weights?
So bench is a better example, probably, like especially right now. So if I'll bench 140, 150 now.
For reps?
Just for like, I'll probably do 140 for 3.
Okay.
Like,
so if you're going to get up to that 3.
So that would be my top set of 3. So what I would probably do is the bar, I'd do 60.
Yeah.
Then personally I'd just go 100, then 120. But they're big jumps, that's what I'm used to. Whereas for yourself, but it's what you do before. So I warm my lats up before a bench.
Yeah.
If I was doing a proper bench session, say if I'm personal training somebody, like I've got a client called Nat who's really, really good, we always warm our lats and arms, triceps and chest up before we do any benching at all. So I wouldn't go in there and start benching, doing
no, but just for you, let's say someone that's experienced. So you've gone like 20 the bar, I almost find is just like, you're almost just getting like, is the height right? It's the height right,
and a lot of people will walk straight in and put 60. I see it all the time. People walk in, say their max is around about 100, they'll just whack a 20 on and cold and just do some reps. And you're just like, you're not even priming yourself for the movement.
Yeah.
A lot of benching, a lot of powerlifting stuff, if that's what people want to do, is all about technique. If you can't get your technique right with the bar in 60, you're never going to bench 140.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, I start with the bar. If it's squat, I start with the bar. If it's benching, I start with the bar, just to get everything moving.
Should we do some benching after this?
Yeah.
We're going
definitely. But it's just about form. It's about making sure all my warm-ups are exactly the same as my top sets. It doesn't have to be mad. So if I'm feeling a bit like my elbows are a bit tight or I'm not really warm, I'll do the bar, then 60, I'll do 2 sets of 60. I want to do more.
How many reps you do? So you go
So 60, I'd probably do like 8 to 10. So
right.
when I work up to my working weight, I want to just do loads of singles. Bench is quite hard because you condense it quite low. Like when I was training with Luke, he would do bar 60, 100, 140, whatever. Yeah. So then I got quite strong because I was just trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And my warm-ups were like 60 for a set of 10. Then I'd do 100 for a set of 5, 140 for 1.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd really reduce it when it gets heavy, just so I've got weight in my hands.
Yeah.
Because if you're warm anyway, like you've done your accessory work, so you've done a lat pull down to get your lats nice and tight and get blood in there, because that's where you bench from, is your lats. You get your lats tight and things like that.
Yeah.
That's where I want to get warm. I want to get warm in my lats, warm in my shoulders, so you can do some band work, things like that. Press ups off a bench. I like doing that. It just gets me moving in the same way I'd bench, but I'm not fatiguing myself. I'm just getting blood in the muscle.
So a good takeaway for the bench warm-up basically is like do some more lat warm-ups. That's probably something that I'm not doing enough of or much at all. I'll maybe do just a set of rows because I find that my shoulders feel healthier if I've done a pull before I do a push.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a good tip. Warm your lats up.
Yeah, 100%.
Before a bench press.
Squat, for me, I'd do a couple of sets with the bar if I was doing a proper squat session, just to try and get the movement right, get my ankle mobility better, because I'm not the most mobile. Like you're very mobile. Where for me, like if I tried, when I was getting under the bar, my arms would be like all the way out here, but by the time I got to my top set, I'd be here. Yeah. So the first couple of sets are literally just getting everything moving, hips warm, things like that. Deadlift wise, I'd do 60 for a set of 6. I would never do high reps on deadlift, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What's the highest rep deadlift set you usually do in training?
The highest rep stuff I've done is sets of 10.
Okay.
So I do 3 weeks of 10, 3 weeks of 8, but that's like my top sets.
I see a lot of people doing like 4 sets of 10 on deadlift because they've heard the bodybuilding rep range is like 8 to 12. And I'm like, you are mad. I don't go over 5 reps. Like my like high rep week is sets of 5. And I'm like, that's my top end.
There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong, but I would never do multiple sets of 8. Like my lower back, my hamstrings, my nervous system will be dead. I want to leave everything on the table on that one set. Do you know what I mean? One top set when I'm doing rig reps like that.
I find like a set of 10 for people though often looks like 6 good, 4 bad.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm just like, oh, it's not worth it for the 4 bad. What do you think of touch and go deadlifts? Yes or no?
It depends. If you're controlling the weight on the way down and doing a touch and go, and you're not using the bounce out the bottom.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you're using your hamstrings to work the weight, like you say, the bodybuilding style reps.
Yeah.
If you want a big deadlift, don't do a tap and go deadlift.
Just reset every rep.
Reset every set. You've got to think, you want a 1 rep max. So act like you're doing 4 or 5 1 rep maxes. That's the best advice I can give on a deadlift.
I think touch and go deadlifts, people tend to just creep their hips every rep.
Yeah, they get higher.
They
end up doing an RDL at the end.
At the end, it's literally just hamstrings back, no quads. But,
yeah, 100%.
I wanted to talk to you about recovery. Yeah. With this podcast, I want to interview lots of people that have achieved a lot in sport and fitness and try and get some common themes between them. So what did you find the most useful recovery protocols? So did you use any?
Do you know what? Carbohydrates and stuff like that. Like some of the workouts were really long, like the squat and deadlift sessions.
Do you mean during your workout?
Both during and straight away after.
What did you take?
Obviously
what
protein.
Form did you have your carbohydrates in?
Fast acting. It sounds so unhealthy, but like just
have
some
a supplement.
I used to use Raging Full. It's like cyclic dextrin. So it doesn't spike your blood sugars that much, but it keeps you hydrated. Is that like a
multi-dextrin?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And then, you sip that throughout the workout just to keep you going.
You know what? Sweets. Like, I'm not even joking. Like,
I've heard that a lot. Mariusz Pudzianowski, the strong man, if you watch his interviews, he just ate loads of sweets when he's training all the time.
Right. I've probably got a few funny videos to film on Instagram somewhere of like Luke will just get a packet of sweets out. They'd always be bio bags. And it's just because like your blood sugars are getting that rinse because you're going so heavy and there's a lot of warm-ups going on as well. Like we're talking about warm-ups, but like if I'm working at like 280, 290 deadlift, I've probably done like 60, 100, 140, 180, 200, 220, 240. Like you're not even at a top set yet and you've done like 9 sets of something relatively heavy. Yeah. Your blood sugars are down, you're probably going lightheaded. And
I think when it gets to the elites of like sports, so let's say powerlifting, American football, or rowing or anything, the criticism I hear is, it's not healthy. It's like, not really trying to be healthy.
No.
They're trying to just win. You got to just see it as a sport.
Yeah.
I think because it looks like fitness and gym work, people see it as if like you've gone in the January to try and get yourself in shape.
Yeah,
and what they don't
it's
understand is
and
like,
it is totally different. Like you said, it's a performance goal. It's not a health. It's not powerlifting's not healthy.
No.
It's just not. You shouldn't be doing all that weight through your body. It's not healthy. But it's a competition at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding is not healthy.
no.
But they have a different nutrition protocol than a powerlifter would, and you'll find that with your podcast that loads of people have. Like me, I'm like, I ate sweets halfway through my workout. It's not for me. It's not a massive science. Whereas the bodybuilders would be like, well, 20 minutes after my workout, I've had this many carbs, this much protein. They are bang on with the nutrition.
Yeah.
For me, I was more bang on with my training periodization and training of what weights I've got to do, going in there going, do you know what, I don't feel it today, but I did it anyway. Do you know what I mean? I had so many days like that. So the nutrition part of it is make sure you're fueled for your workouts.
Yeah.
I was training at the perfect time. Did
you find it a challenge between not gaining too much weight but staying fueled, or did you not have an issue with that?
I was walking around in the gym at like 89, 90 kilo and I felt big.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be any bigger.
That big though, is it?
No. And I say that to a lot of people, and people walking around just a bit taller than me, like I'm 104 kilo easy. But if I'm full, I just wouldn't eat. I wouldn't force feed myself. But like,
so you didn't feel like you had like that addiction craving, and you had an active life, so
yeah, it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
it didn't really matter to me. I wasn't lean, but I was lean enough to care. I wasn't that bothered. But I wasn't on an aesthetic point of view. I wasn't like I need to look really good for it. No, I was just like, if I'm walking around 88, 89, feeling really strong, eating kind of what I like, but in a means. But then I also had a meal prep company that was helping me. So daytime, I was quite healthy, to be fair.
Okay, so yeah, you're pretty regimented outside the gym, but anything around the workout? Any calories that help are going in?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Did you try? Have you tried ice baths, saunas, anything like that, or is that something that struggled to access?
Probably just like access that if you've got it, use it. And it's fantastic.
But you didn't personally.
But I didn't personally use it that much.
What about supplements?
Supplement wise, pre-workout.
Pre-workout,
Literally just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when I was doing my heavy stuff, I'd make sure I timed it right. If I had a pre-workout half an hour before I get to the gym, I'm crashing before I get to my top set. It's pointless. So it's just about nutrition time, like supplement timing.
So take the pre-workout when you get to the gym.
Yeah, as I'm warming up. Yeah. Because I know in half an hour that's when I'm probably going to do my top set. So it's about timing things like that, right? Carbohydrates.
Creatine, do you take that?
Yeah, I put that with my pre-workout.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah, 5 grams.
Anything else? Like, did you ever try like branch chaining amino acids during your workout, or?
Yeah, and I loved them, but then I was also doing a master's in strength conditioning where I was looking into supplements. I worked at a vitamin shop looking at supplements, and all of a sudden these BCAAs seemed pointless at the time.
Yeah, I thought that.
Do you know what I mean?
There's not a lot of evidence, is there?
If I have them now, I have one on me all the time, like not on me all the time, but I've got some at home, but they're EAAs and they've got like your hydration, you've got your electrolytes in there. I'd use it for that, not because it's trying to repair my muscle. I'd use it for the hydration point of view with the electrolytes in them.
Yeah,
more than anything.
I'm not playing down that BCAAs aren't like good, but if they're already included in your diet, it's just that adding extra.
Yeah, 100%. I was probably eating that much food, that much protein a day. I didn't really have shakes. I don't have them now, to be honest. Like protein shakes. If I have my protein, I'll include it in my food.
Okay.
I'll put it into my yogurt or I'll put it into my oats. I like my food more than that. Some people struggle to eat.
Yeah, I think there's a big misunderstanding is that there's something special about whey protein. I think the best thing about whey protein is that it's convenient and that you can store it without refrigerating it.
Yeah.
But it's superior.
Like, for me, like I'd finish my workout and go home and chill out for 2 hours before I started work.
Yeah.
Did I need to have a shake there and then? No, I didn't, because I'd eat. Whereas some people have got such a more active lifestyle, like going straight to work or something. Protein shakes are fantastic. You can have it then, or like I say now, I put it in my food.
Yeah.
So,
what would you say are the 3 most important assistance exercises for powerlifting? So give me 1 assistance exercise for the squat, 1 for the deadlift, and 1 for the bench that you would say are the top ones to do other than those big 3.
bench press, I'll give you 2 because I've always done 2.
Yeah.
Close grip bench, got my triceps really strong.
With a bar, yeah.
Yeah. Just literally, I used to do my top set.
How narrow?
I used to put my index finger just where the knurling would start.
Okay.
Loads of people would end up going like here.
Yeah.
But then there's no difference in my elbow position except for my wrist. My wrist has just got so much pressure. There's no difference between that and that.
There's actually EMG studies, isn't there, on the triceps that you don't get any more tricep activation when you come inside of the shoulder width. You just get higher stress on the wrist.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? If there's any more stress on my joints when I was powerlifting, so literally just in line with your elbow position, keeping your elbows tucked in, exactly the same setup as a bench.
Yeah.
Just trying to get my triceps as strong as possible.
And what's the other one?
Banded bench press.
Okay.
For me, I was if you got your set up quite well, I was quite powerful off my chest. I'd get quite a lot of weight to about here.
Yeah.
And that's where I would probably fail most of my lifts. And I think a lot of powerlifters probably are very similar.
Yeah.
If they get it to here, it's really difficult to lock it out. And your triceps are giving up, and all the band's doing is make you a bit more explosive because it wants to pull you back down, and it gets harder through the lift. So it gets you past that plateau, in a way. So if your bench press 140, you put 120 on plus 25 kilo of band tension.
Yeah.
You can get the bar off your chest here, and you're just pushing through that 145 bracket at the top. Where
so you basically
can
pick 2 tricep exercises.
Yeah, realistically.
Right.
Squat. I would do a pause squat, but this also depends on the person, especially. For me, a pause squat was really good, whereas some other people, their form starts to go and it gets heavy, so like a tempo squat.
Yeah.
So a bit slow on the way down,
like 5
pause.
count down or something.
Yeah, and a really explosive up. But I think a pause squat just gets you explosive out the bottom, gets you controlled as well, and it gets you depth as well. So
how long do you pause at the bottom?
Just a 1-2 count.
Yeah.
Any longer than that, I think you're just putting more stress than needed on your body. But it also gets your core like super strong. If I can sit at the bottom of a squat on something heavy, if I'm just going up and down, it makes the lift so much easier.
Maybe a bit of mobility improvement as well from spending time in your end ranges. Yeah.
And especially in powerlifting, because you've got 3 judges looking at you on depth. If you can pause it in depth.
Well, I noticed that with bench press. So if I do my 1 rep max bench press, I'll touch my chest. I won't bounce it because the weight would just crush me. I haven't got the mass to bounce off. However, when I look at the powerlifting meets, the standard's different. They're almost like dead stop. Yes.
Do you know what? If I start doing a tap and go, my shoulders hurt, everything's off and wayward, I just won't get the lift. Whereas if I pause it, and I'll always pause the last one on my rep work.
On the bench.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel much more solid, but I think that's just set up and what I'm used to now.
Yeah.
So yeah, pause squat, definitely. Deadlift.
Best assistance for deadlift.
A pendulum row.
All right.
That was always.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that was used to be always in. That's also deadlift and a bench accessory if you want to put it in that way. I'll tell you.
I've got a really specific question on the pendulum row.
Yeah.
Because I like it.
Yeah.
Do you pull the bar to your ribs, belly button, or below the belly
Well,
button?
bench too. I want to try and make it as much like a bench press as I can. I'll tell you why. So you're basically doing the opposite movement.
This is to assist the deadlift.
A bit of both as well. I like I like it assisting my dead because it gets my lats really strong, so I'm locking them in all the time. My back gets stronger just generally. And if I'm moving a weight from a dead stop from the floor, that's all you're doing on a deadlift.
So you're pendulum rowing up to your chest level.
Yeah, I'm literally hitting exactly
so
where.
That's way higher than I've personally
do you go to like belly button?
I was going to that because it's kind of where you'd go for a bent over row. And I've found over time I've crept up to more like my ribs, and I find that it's just more comfortable for some reason.
Yeah, I'm probably like top ab, like sternum, the hard bit where I would pause my bench. That's where I bring it to.
Okay. The bar has a more natural up and down path then.
Yeah.
It can fall back down, whereas when I'm trying to pull it into my body, because the pendulum row is so much heavier than a classic bent over row, I find not coming up and down in a straight line is actually quite difficult.
Yeah, 100%. So I'd probably say that's also a bench. So another deadlift would be a pause deadlift. But I think that's also dependent on where people's strengths are.
Pausing just below the kneecap?
Yeah, mid-shin.
Mid-shin.
Mid-shin, just underneath the kneecap. If you can pause it there and then carry on your pull, that's where for me, if I get it above my knee, I'm locking it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as soon as it's here, I'm
pausing
fine.
Basically where you'd get stuck on both lifts.
Yeah, and for powerlifting especially, I think this is the best take-home message for if you're training for your accessories. Make it hard wherever you're going to fail. And you just need to be like true to yourself, to be like, I know I'm rubbish at locking out, or I'm rubbish at the bottom of the squat, I don't hit depth, things like this. That's what you need to work on. That's where your accessories should be. So like before I program anybody, I always like seeing either what their maxes used to be, or just like a set of 5 reps, because then all of a sudden I probably know whereabouts they're going to be failing. Then their accessory is going to be exactly that.
So all your accessories are just based around the weak points.
Yeah,
in
100%.
Your lifts.
So like, if you're rubbish at the start of a deadlift, make it a deficit. It's pointless using bands because you're good at the top.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like that. So bench press, I'd always get like, here, what's going to make that harder? Okay, you could pause it there, yeah, but I'd like bands because I want to be pushing through the movement all the time.
Yeah.
Squat's a bit of a hard one. I'd probably fail it just out of the bottom. So a pause squat would be really good for me. The moment I get it halfway up, like my deadlift, I'd probably get the lift.
If you were halfway up, would you like add bands to your squat maybe instead?
I've done banded squat before. It's really difficult. If people are worried about bit of core strength, I know a lot of safety bar squats.
Yeah.
Different safety bars move differently.
I can't do it.
But
they're too wide for me. They're always too wide for my shoulders. They're like sitting off the edge.
Yeah.
I think they're made for a bigger man.
Yeah. But like a lot of them want to fold you in half, so it keeps your core nice and tight, keeps you a bit more upright kind of thing. So that's also a good one. But for me, pause squat, I'd always have a pause squat in there. It just keeps you a bit more explosive.
Great. Got one last question. What's next for you? So you retired from powerlifting, but you're coaching, and I've seen you running a lot. What's next for you, like career and fitness wise?
Yeah, so I want a good 10k time, like running. So I did a 10k last year. I want to try and get a 45-minute 10k in March. That's like my goal.
Yeah.
But that's just to try and keep me active and fit. Like when I was powerlifting, it's all well and good doing all the powerlifting. I'm super strong, but then I'd like demonstrate a circuit and I'm like, go, and then I'm like, I'm gassed. I'm like, I shouldn't be like that. But I was so geared towards that, I needed to change a little bit. So
I feel like that's a trend for like most athletes when they start to get towards their 30s. They start like prioritizing, I guess, just your general health. And like people like Nick Barr, you know, promoting the hybrid training. Is it Fergus Crawley? Is he from the UK doing and combining that love of lifting with some actual endurance work?
So for me, I've got numbers in my head that I always want to be hitting, like deadlift, squat, and bench, because I think I like them. Like it's always in me to be like, no, I want to be. I want to be strong. Those, I want to stay strong, and my training's just as heavy on my compounds when I'm doing them than when I was powerlifting. If you know what I mean. Like, I still take that on, but the way I want to try and structure I want to do a high rocks in May.
Yeah, I like the look of high rocks. That looks fun. Let me know. I don't want to commit. I've said it now. I'll do it with you. If you book on.
We're looking to book in the one in May, but the one in I think it's October, November. They haven't released the dates yet, but last year's was October in Birmingham. Yeah. That looked a great one. So when I know the date for that, I'll tell you. But I want to do that. I like the look of that. Like, the CrossFit stuff is fantastic, but 90% of people can't do the Olympic lifts right, and that's when you get injured, where all High Rocks is doing is taking that away and doing the same kind of style workouts, and I like the look of that. Do you know what I mean?
The CrossFit, probably 4 things I have a problem with. The butterfly pull-ups just aggravate elbow and shoulders in high reps. I know they say, if you're conditioned enough, it doesn't. Look, if you're going to do high enough volume of anything that looks like that, it's going to wear on you, especially if you're past the age of 25. Yeah. Touch and go deadlifts are compulsory to compete, aren't they? And then obviously the clean and snatch are just like, I can do them, but I can't compete.
Do you know what? Like, there was a really high level CrossFit I went to uni with doing my masters, and I asked him, why has CrossFit got such a bad rap? And he was like, because 90% probably gonna annoy everybody here, but a lot of CrossFit coaches aren't Olympic lifting qualified, they're CrossFit qualified. Yeah. If you want to be good at that kind of stuff, get a British weightlifting affiliated coach to coach you the Olympic lifts first before you do that, because then you mitigate the injury at risk.
I think that's good advice. Yeah, if you want to get into 100%. CrossFit, hire an Olympic lifting coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Not necessarily a
CrossFit coach.
Or if the CrossFit coach is Olympic lifting certified.
Yeah, I'd probably say the majority probably will be.
I don't think so.
But then you're going into a CrossFit gym, where they're not qualified to coach the Olympic lifting.
But they're still doing it.
But they're still going, right, we're going to do a load of cleans. Well, you don't know how to do a clean.
I've actually got 2 guests I'd like to bring on, and they've just opened a CrossFit box, and one of them, I believe, is like a Commonwealth Olympic lifter. So I think they'd probably be like that good mix of like CrossFit, but can teach you to do it properly.
100%.
And then from business perspective, you're going more into corporate, is that right?
Yeah, corporate health and well-being. So I've made a little studio in my house for like personal training, but I do one-to-one as just my usual job now. Starting in January, doing corporate health and well-being. So
what are you putting that under? Is that under the
the same umbrella? Yeah, I want to try and grow Optimal Performance and Health.
Shout out what your brand's
called. Optimal Performance and Health is my brand. Yeah, and I think as a company, like instead of trying to get a couple of online clients and helping 2 people, like 48 people have signed up to it, and they've got a company with 150 people. So I want to try and help more people on a wider scale. And these aren't people that are like, oh, I really want to get lean, I want to like compete and things like that. No, I'm not gearing towards that with the corporate health and well-being.
All right, well, I'll link some of that in the description of this video. Thanks so much for coming down and doing it.
I appreciate it.
Hopefully the podcast will take off and I can get you back in, because I've got loads of questions that I didn't ask you. I think we're going to train. I'd like to do bench press, and I want to see what you're like at a zombie squat. Have you done a zombie squat?
No, but I'll give it a go.
I'll give it a try. You can teach me the bench. I'll teach you a zombie squat. But check out other episodes on the playlist tab on the channel, and see you soon.